The magic takes place in this small section of a gigantic aircraft carrier, which is frequently referred to as a city at sea. You wouldn't guess it that here is where it takes place. What is life like inside the hull? Many interesting passageways, engine rooms, and secret spaces are hidden inside a huge steel structure. These are where thousands of crew members live, work, and move. The breadth of these locations includes everything from high-tech war information centers to a city that never stops moving. There is an entire universe hidden behind those thick steel walls. So let's take a closer look at what's within the hull of a massive aircraft carrier. The hull of an aircraft carrier is a massive steel structure that is constructed to maintain its integrity in the face of severe seas and potential attacks from hostile forces. This massive shell is over 1,000 feet long and is comprised of numerous decks and parts. Each is of critical significance to the operation of a carrier. The design of the hull is a masterpiece of naval architecture. It achieves the ideal balance between strength and buoyancy, as well as the utilization of space within the vessel. The hull is constructed from high-strength steel plates that are meticulously bonded together to create an impermeable shell. The thickness of these plates varies throughout the ship because certain areas require more protection than others, such as those near the water or around critical systems with stronger components. As a result of its sturdy construction, the carrier is capable of transporting more than 100,000 tons of water without breaking, even when operating in the most strong sea conditions. Internally, the hull is constructed from a complex network of support pieces that run in both the longitudinal and transverse directions. This complicated framework not only keeps the ship and its cargo in place, but it also helps spread out the stress of taking sharp turns and traveling through rough seas. Power generation. Located at the lowest levels of the hull are the engine rooms and the system's propulsion. Nuclear reactors are used to generate enormous amounts of power on modern carriers, such as the United States ship Gerald R. Ford. These reactors, which are protected by thick walls of steel and concrete, are remarkable feats of engineering that grant the ship nearly limitless endurance and range. Nuclear power plants typically have 2 reactors. Each was contained in its own compartment that was well fortified. For the purpose of producing heat, these reactors make use of enriched uranium as their fuel and operate according to the concept of nuclear fission. This heat is used to make steam, which turns a set of engines that are linked to generators and powers them. The power output is extraordinary. Most carriers' nuclear plants generate over 100 megawatts, enough to power a small city. Nuclear propulsion has many advantages. Unlike conventional ships, which must refuel periodically, a nuclear-powered carrier may operate for more than 20 years without refueling. This amazing endurance enables the ship to remain at sea for extended periods of time, increasing strategic flexibility and lowering vulnerability during refueling operations. The multitude of auxiliary systems surround the reactor compartments, ensuring the power plant's safety and efficiency. These include large steam condensers, water purification systems, and intricate control rooms where highly skilled nuclear experts supervise all aspects of the reactor's operation. Propulsion systems. The power produced by the nuclear reactors is used to push the enormous carrier over the water. This is accomplished via a complex propulsion system that turns nuclear energy into mechanical motion. Reactor steam powers a number of turbines, which in turn rotate enormous propeller shafts. The ship's engineering control center, which is a hub of activity for officers and enlisted personnel who monitor and adjust the ship's speed and power output, oversees the propulsion system. This control center is equipped with banks of computers and displays, allowing the engineering team to oversee all aspects of the ship's propulsion and power generation systems. In addition to the main propulsion system, many contemporary carriers have auxiliary propulsion units. These smaller, electrically powered propellers typically improve maneuverability, which is especially advantageous during docking processes or when operating in limited waterways. The circulatory system. Moving up from the technical areas, we meet a complicated network of pipes, cables, and ductwork, the carrier's circulatory system. These conduits transport power, water, air, and data throughout the ship, ensuring that all compartments stay functioning and connected. The electrical distribution system is particularly amazing, with thousands of miles of wiring branching off from the main generators to power everything from gigantic radar arrays to tiny lights. The system is constructed with various redundancies and safeguards to guarantee that damage to one element of the network does not jeopardize the entire ship's electrical system. The hangar deck. The hangar deck is one of the hull's most spectacular places. This enormous compartment, which covers the majority of the ship's length, acts as a garage and repair facility for the carrier's air wing. Several sizable elevators connect the hangar deck to the flight deck, which is typically located just below it. The sheer vastness of the hangar deck is astounding. This facility can handle dozens of airplanes at once, measuring almost 700 feet in length, 110 feet in breadth, and with a ceiling height of around 25 feet. The deck is separated into sections, each having tie-down points to keep aircraft safe during maintenance or heavy waves. Massive aircraft elevators line the perimeter of the flight deck, providing access to the hangar. These elevators are engineering wonders in their own right. They can lift hundreds of thousands of pounds and are large enough to accommodate any aircraft in the carrier's fleet, from nimble fighter jets to massive transport helicopters. Living quarters. There are thousands of soldiers living on aircraft carriers, and making sure they have nice places to live is important for morale and productivity. The ship's big crew can fit in a relatively small space because the hull has many places to dock. Junior enlisted men often live in huge, open berthing spaces with rows of bunks stacked 3 high. Each enlisted is provided with a modest locker for their personal stuff, and the areas have been built to maximize efficiency on the highest possible level. Despite the crowded confines, these berthing quarters are built for comfort, with individual reading lights, privacy curtains, and adjoining restroom facilities known as heads in naval jargon. As we advance through the ranks, our living conditions grow more private. Senior enlisted personnel and junior officers might share smaller rooms with just a few occupants, while senior officers have private or semi-private staterooms. These more comfortable apartments frequently contain workstations for work and modest sitting spaces. There are communal rooms spread out across the living quarters where sailors can unwind in their spare time. These include lounges with televisions and comfy seating, small libraries loaded with books and magazines, and even ice cream parlors, which are popular with many crew members. Physical fitness is critical for the crew's overall health and readiness. To this end, carriers are equipped with multiple gym facilities spread throughout the hull. These gyms offer a wide range of training equipment, including treadmills, weight machines, rowing machines, and stationary bikes. Some carriers even feature miniature basketball courts or boxing rinks for a more diverse fitness experience. For spiritual reasons, the ship has one or more chapels. These multi-faith rooms offer a quiet space for introspection and religious services, which is an essential component of ensuring the well-being of the diverse crew during long deployments. The Combat Information Center. The Combat Information Center, or CIC, is located deep beneath the hull and is protected by multiple layers of armor and redundant equipment. This is the carrier's nerve center, where data from radars, sensors, and communication devices is gathered and analyzed. The CIC, which is used to make key decisions, is a hive of activity, with banks of computer screens, plotting tables, and communications equipment. Here, officers and enlisted personnel collaborate. Hundreds of aircraft and ships operate simultaneously. The CIC is built around the ship's combat system, which is an interconnected network of sensors, weaponry, and decision-making tools. This system receives data from the ship's radars, sonar, and other sensors and combines it to build a complete image of the surrounding environment. This data is displayed on big screens and individual workstations, allowing the staff to monitor the air. Real-time danger detection for both surface and subterranean environments. The CIC is also where the ship's defense systems are managed. The CIC's layout is meticulously planned to allow for speedy decision-making and information flow. Key personnel, such as the ship's commanding officer and air boss, have specialized stations where they can monitor operations and respond rapidly to emerging issues. The room is frequently divided into pieces, specialized in specific areas of responsibility, such as air defense, surface warfare, and underwater warfare. Feeding the fleet. Keeping thousands of sailors fed necessitates industrial-sized food preparation facilities. The hull contains numerous galleys or kitchens, as well as mess decks or dining halls that can serve tens of thousands of meals every day. These areas are critical for sustaining the crew's morale and energy levels throughout lengthy deployments. The galleys on a modern carrier are marvels of efficiency, built to produce vast amounts of food rapidly and consistently. They have huge commercial cooking equipment, such as ovens, grills, fryers, and mixers. Food preparation is around round-the-clock operation on a carrier. Teams of culinary specialists operate in shifts to ensure that crew members have access to hot, healthy meals at all times, supporting the ship's 24-hour working tempo. On an average day, a carrier's galley may serve more than 18,000 meals. Large refrigerated storage spaces and dry goods storerooms are located adjacent to the galley. These areas can store enough provisions to nourish the entire crew for extended periods of time, which is critical for a warship that may spend months at sea without replenishment. The mechanics of keeping these food stocks are complex, necessitating meticulous planning and inventory management to guarantee that the ship never runs out of critical supplies. The mess decks, where crew members eat their meals, are intended to serve a huge number of people efficiently. Long lines of serving stations allow sailors to swiftly choose their food and take a seat. These places are also essential social spaces in which crew members from various departments can mingle and form bonds. In addition to the main galleys and mess decks, carriers frequently feature smaller food service rooms located throughout the ship. Some examples are coffee shops, sandwich bars, and even pizza kitchens. These give crew members more dining choices and the comfort of familiar foods during long deployments. Weapons and ordnance. While planes are a carrier's principal offensive capability, the hull houses storage and handling facilities for a wide range of armaments. These rooms are critical for keeping the ship combat-ready and supporting the Air Wing's missions. Magazine spaces, which are fully armored and climate-controlled, contain missiles, bombs, and ammo for both planes and the ship's defensive systems. These spaces are created with safety as a primary concern, with substantial blast doors, advanced fire suppression systems, and meticulous environmental management to prevent accidental detonations. The movement of munitions from storage to the flight deck is a meticulously planned procedure. Weapons can be moved safely and efficiently thanks to specially designed elevators and conveyor systems. These systems are equipped with numerous safety features and are operated by highly trained individuals to reduce the likelihood of mishaps. In addition to storage, the hull has areas dedicated to weapon assembly and maintenance. Ordnance specialists prepare bombs and missiles for deployment by connecting fuses, fins, and guidance systems as needed. These workshops are outfitted with specialized tools and testing equipment to guarantee that each weapon is properly constructed and operational before it is carried into an aircraft. Engineering marvels. The hull of an aircraft carrier is constructed with survivability in mind, integrating a broad variety of systems and measures to safeguard the ship and its personnel in the event of an emergency involving damage. Throughout the vessel, there are numerous damage control stations outfitted with firefighting equipment, dewatering pumps, and emergency repair materials. These stations are strategically positioned in order to guarantee that they are able to respond swiftly and efficiently to a variety of emergency scenarios. The crew of the ship periodically engages in drills. These drills are designed to provide for rapid response to any crisis, from fires to flooding. The ship's design includes multiple watertight compartments and bulkheads that may be sealed in an emergency to stop the spread of water or fire. The separation of these compartments is a critical safety element that allows the ship to continue operating even if some portions are compromised. Advanced fire suppression systems are installed throughout the hull. Some examples of these are high-expansion foam generators that are able to rapidly fill vast areas with fire-resistant foam, and water mist systems that are able to put out flames while reducing the amount of water damage that is caused to sensitive equipment. Communication hubs. Modern warfare necessitates continuous communication, and the hull of an aircraft carrier houses numerous communication centers. These rooms include advanced radio, satellite, and computer systems that enable the carrier to communicate with aircraft, other ships, and command centers all over the world. The principal communication center is usually positioned close to the Combat Information Center, enabling seamless integration of communication of tactical operations. This facility is outfitted with a variety of communication devices, including high-frequency radios for long-distance communications and satellite systems for worldwide connectivity. Encrypted communication systems keep critical information secure, and redundant installations ensure that the carrier can maintain command and control capabilities even if some systems are broken or hacked. The anchor room. The anchor chamber is located at the hull's forward end. This area has large chain lockers and windlasses used to raise and lower the carrier's anchors. Each anchor can weigh more than 30 tons, and the chain links are as thick as a sailor's thighs. The engineering required to manage such enormous components demonstrates the scope of aircraft carrier operations. The anchor system is critical for keeping the ship in place when it is not in motion, particularly at ports where docking facilities may not be accessible or appropriate for a vessel of this size. The anchor room comprises powerful motors and brake systems for controlling anchor deployment and retrieval, as well as sensors for monitoring anchor chain tension. The hull of a huge aircraft carrier exemplifies human creativity and engineering prowess, from its nuclear heart to the complicated network of systems that support thousands of sailors. Each cubic foot of space has a purpose. This steel-wrapped floating city represents the pinnacle of naval technology, allowing for global power projection while also protecting maritime interests. As we've seen, these underlying systems are incredibly complicated and large in scale. Each compartment and piece of equipment contributes significantly to the carrier's mission. Remember that beneath its majestic flight deck is a world of technology, expertise, and dedication that enables its operations. If you enjoyed what you saw and learned something new, please like and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to click the bell symbol so you can watch our next video on time. Please share your ideas in the comments below.